Welcome e-commerce empresses to this episode of Woman Powering E-commerce. Join me every Tuesday and Thursday as I take you behind the scenes of my journey as a female e-commerce entrepreneur. Together, we'll explore the highs, the lows, inspiring you to take action and achieve your own business goals. So let's get started. So today I want to talk about something I think everyone can relate to, and it's about feeling overwhelmed. I'm sure you've felt overwhelmed several times, especially as an entrepreneur, or I think anyone in general in their job is a feeling that it's a normal feeling as a human being. And I think that you just need to learn how to manage it with time and see the signs and know what to do with it. A few weeks ago on a Monday morning, my motivation was just not there, and I was feeling exactly that, overwhelmed. I just felt overwhelmed with everything, literally, I had to do, and it's definitely something I'll feel once in a while, which is now for me just a cue to sit back, relax, and do a little reset. It is not a time to panic or to over dramatize and rethink your life decisions, which honestly I used to do when I felt like that. But now I feel like I know how to address those feelings pretty quickly when they do happen and get back on track. I felt these emotions often, so I feel I've gained some good tricks, or at least a recipe that works for me when this happens. And what used to take me days and maybe weeks to recover now only takes me maybe half a day at the most. So let me share my tricks with you, and if it can help, then great. So this is what I do. First of all, if I can't even think clearly, and it happens rarely, but I keep this card in my back pocket if possible, I will just take my morning off. Sometimes you just feel so overwhelmed that like whatever work you do is just too much. So it's something that we have usually the luxury of doing as an entrepreneur, manage our schedule. So if I can take my morning off, I'll do it. If I can't, then I have other ways of coping, but that's one thing I love to do. It just helps me recover quickly and get back on track. But first thing I do, if that's not possible, or if it is possible, no matter what, I just start writing. Whenever I start feeling overwhelmed, I found that it's often because I've crammed too much into my schedule. So yes, sometimes it feels good to put it on paper, and sometimes that's enough. Okay, it's not that bad. Look, here's what it is. Work with that. But sometimes I've honestly put too much in my schedule. So how do I make adjustments? I'll list all the important tasks I need to do. And that's it. And then I'll just add those back into my schedule. So I'll just take like an empty schedule, take all the important things I want to do, and I start with the most important. So I'll just kind of put the important stuff in my schedule. Then I'll take the less important, and, I go down the list like that. So just doing that helps me regain control. And honestly, sometimes just a few tweaks like that, just taking your schedule apart, putting it back in, will do the trick. Rearrange a few time blocks, and suddenly you feel like everything fits in. Sometimes you just moved a few things and it gives you more room to relax. At least that helps me a lot doing that. Other times I realize that I don't need to change my schedule. Everything is in place. Everything is optimal. And sometimes you just need to take some time off. That's it. We're human beings. We need to do it once in a while. We need a break. And I've also accepted that it's okay not to feel at my best every day. If it happens on those occasions, like I said in the beginning, I might just take a day off or a half a day, usually a half, like my morning. Sometimes that's all I'll do. If I really can't concentrate, I'll just take my morning off. If I have meetings, sometimes if they're not, they can be rescheduled. They're not like urgent, important. I'll just reschedule a few things, and that's it. Only doing that just kind of helps me breathe in, breathe out, reset myself. And then usually after that, I'm feeling much better. And after lunch, I'm back on track. So that was about putting everything in writing, checking your schedule, and seeing if you need to make adjustments. If not, then just take a deep breath, take a few hours off, and that's it. Okay, next point, shift perspective. I switch my mindset in those times from I have to I want to. Makes a big difference. As an entrepreneur, we have the luxury, like I said, to design our schedule. Why not use that? I use that at my advantage, and I remind myself why I added each task to my schedule in the first place. This realigns my motivation and my enthusiasm, and it's just a reminder that I didn't put a bunch of stuff, piled tasks in my calendar for the sake of it. No, each task has a purpose, and everything should lead to a specific goal and destination. And when I remind myself that, it just kind of rekindles my passion, and I realize that, okay, I'm not doing a bunch of stuff for nothing. Everything has a purpose, and I created that. So I should usually be wanting to do those things. Okay, one last thing. Less is more. So when the above did not do the trick, I checked my schedule. Everything works. I mean, it's optimal. I took some time off, and I'm still feeling off track. Then I'll do this exercise for a week or two, and let me share that with you. It works wonderfully. So what you do is just you list everything you do in a day. So every time I do a new task, I write it down on a piece of paper. I'll write the time I did it approximately, how long it took me. And next to each task, I ask myself, am I the only person who can handle this? Or is it something I can delegate? And if it's something only I can do, well, okay, great. Then that's perfect. I'm supposed to do it. I'll consider it a priority, and I'll make sure I do it. However, if it's something that others can take care of, then I'll find a solution and see how I can delegate it. And it works. When I started doing this exercise, I realized I was the main character in my own movie. I was like almost necessary and important. I felt important and like I needed to be everywhere. But eventually I realized, no, a lot of it I can delegate. A lot of it, I don't need to be there. I don't need to micromanage everything. Actually, you don't have to micromanage anything usually, and makes a big difference. And with time, the ratio between things I can delegate and things I am the only one who can take care of really changes. So right now when this happens, I realize a lot of the things I do, actually, I'm the only one who can do. But I think this is an exercise that is important to do on a regular basis, because I feel, at least for my part, or is in my human nature, I'll easily pile stuff on without thinking about it, and it's things I could easily delegate. So I think it's something that's definitely important to do on a regular basis, and it's something I now adopted and try to do at least every time I feel like it's not working anymore. I have too much on my plate. Once you did that, and I feel like most of the tasks I'm doing are things I'm the one that can do. Well, if it's not important task and I'm feeling overwhelmed, then well, why not just remove a few non-urgent ones and just delay them for a little bit? And there you go. Less is more. Less can often be more when it comes to managing overwhelm. That's what works for me, at least. So wrapping up, feeling overwhelmed is something that I've learned to deal with in the last years, and because I now accept this feeling as being normal at times and just a signal to sit back a little, rewind, reset. I've created my own recipe to deal with that. It's something that happens less and less with time, but when it does happen, I know how to address it quickly, which I really appreciate. And I'd really love to hear your tricks. If you have any tricks on how you deal with such feelings, please let me know. I'd be really interested in them and sharing them as well, because it's something we can't get too much advice on this topic. I think we can always be better at it. So please feel free to send that my way, and take a moment to rate and share this podcast or episode if you found it helpful. It allows us to support more women entrepreneurs in the e-commerce business. Thank you for being part of this journey with me. I hope you gained valuable insights and inspiration today to keep growing and taking action towards your goals. Please follow me on social media and remember to like, share, and comment this video. Subscribe to get notifications every time a new video is uploaded. See you next time.